You should be afraid of the other side, not my side. Well, I want to get our hands around a very difficult situation.
All right, Donald.
Hey, Joe, one other thing.
Don. You got to let us ask questions. You can't just talk. No, you got to let us actually ask questions. You're just talking. All Muslims. Donald. You're not going to keep talking. We will go to break if you keep talking. We're going to ask you questions. All right, go to break. Go to break, everybody. Go to break. Go to break. Go to break right now.
Buckle up, folks. Today we're talking about Morning Joe, the show once known for bashing Donald Trump at every opportunity. But now, they're rolling out the red carpet for the man himself. Why? 2 words: ratings disaster. I mean, look at this. Almost half of the audience disappeared overnight. Let's rewind. Remember when Joe and Mika compared Trump to dictators and accused him of everything short of stealing candy from babies?
As important as Trump's fascism is the lead story every day, his cozying up to dictators, his obsession with Hitler that has now come out, what he has said about our veterans, and what he wants to do with the military against his political adversaries, it's all huge news. This is the future that we're looking at in the next Trump term, if there is one. But this is what voters know right now, that he is killing us.
They voted for Trump in 16, whatever. They voted for Trump in 20. They knew exactly what they were doing. If they vote for Donald Trump in 2024, they're knowingly voting for a fascist. They're voting for a racist. They're voting for somebody that wants to put this country 200 years in the back.
This is not a reach. I could go back and talk about Nazi Germany, and I do it without any concerns whatsoever. And if people can't start drawing the parallels, well, you're just stupid, or you have your head in the sand, or you're one of them.
Who they are running against: a dark, dismal, fascist, and increasingly obviously fascist person. He's getting through the moment as an aging bullshit artist. Yeah. There's always a tinge of racism in everything he says. If you can't believe it and this is your choice, you're lying to yourself, and you're going to ruin this country. Right. Hateful, racist, bigoted, tired, aging, branding, I wouldn't say genius, branding obsessed narcissist.
Oh, man. Those were the days. Fast forward to today, and guess where they were last week? Yep, at Mar-a-Lago, cozying up to Trump. Roll the tape.
Over the past week, Joe and I have heard from so many people, from political leaders to regular citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections, and they are scared. Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit. And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike. We had not spoken to President Trump since March of 2020, other than a personal call Joe made to Trump on the morning after the attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. In this meeting, President Trump was cheerful, he was upbeat, he seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues. And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we? 5 years of political warfare has deeply divided Washington and the country. We have been as clear as we know how in expressing our deep concerns about President Trump's actions and words in the coarsening of public debate. But for nearly 80 million Americans, election denialism, public trials, and January 6th were not as important as the issues that moved them to send Donald Trump back to the White House with their vote. Joe and I realize it's time to do something different. And that starts with not only talking about Donald Trump, but also talking with him.
Funny how losing 40% of your audience can suddenly make you see the light, huh? But here's the kicker. Mika and Joe haven't suddenly found religion in the Church of Trump. Nope, this isn't a conversion. It's a survival tactic. With their ratings in freefall, they've done what any desperate talk show would do. Hit the Trump reset button and pray the audience comes back. And of course, Twitter had a field day with this. Megyn Kelly tore into them, and even The View chimed in, saying they're just chasing clout.
How long have they been telling us that he's an existential threat, that he's a Hitler-esque figure, that he's a fascist, that women will die if he gets elected? Well, they've done a 180.
I don't think you need to sit down for 90 minutes at Mar-a-Lago and kiss his ring to be able to speak truth and to be able to cover a story. So maybe they're not journalists in the true sense. Maybe they're saying that they're opinion journalists.
Like, how does this call go, right? Like, oh, hey, Don, okay, so I'm sorry I called you a Nazi for years and like Hitler, but you want to grab coffee, maybe lunch?
The moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of tanking ratings to transform critics into cheerleaders. Let me know in the comments, do you think this is savvy survival or shameless selling out?